Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new review. Today I'm going to review Disclosure Day. Obviously I watched this one in the cinemas, and Disclosure Day is a very interesting movie. So let's talk about it. Obviously the director was Steven Spielberg, or obviously the director of this beautiful movie is Steven Spielberg, best known for his works obviously from Indiana Jones to Back to the Future. I suppose he produced that movies or those trilogy as well, and obviously Jurassic Park and so many movies. So I mean I don't really need to explain who Steven Spielberg is. Everyone knows him, everyone loves him. So obviously the screenplay was written by David Kopp based on a story by Spielberg, and he actually wrote it on an iPad, he said in an interview, which is really interesting. Obviously, producers are Steven Spielberg and Christy McCosco Krieger, I think. The cast include Emily Blunt as Margaret Fairchild, a Kansas City TV meteorologist and former journalist turned alien, question mark. So there you go. Josh O'Connor as Dr. Daniel Kellner, a cybersecurity specialist and whistleblower. So obviously I had to Google up the term whistleblower because obviously English is not my first language, and a whistleblower is a person who lawfully reports misconduct, wrongdoing or illegal activity within an organization to authorized recipients, often protected by law from retaliation. So that's interesting. Colin Firth as Noah Scanlon, I think a CEO of Wardex Corporation, very intimidating guy, but yeah, fair enough. Evie Hewson as Jane Blankenship, Daniel's girlfriend and former novitiate, I think, aka nun, I suppose, a former nun. So there you go. A bit of a difficult word to pronounce, but whatever. Coleman Domingo as Hugo Wakefield, Wardex Director of Biological Assets turned advocate for disclosure. Wyatt Russell as Jackson, Margaret's boyfriend. And Wyatt Russell, it was a surprise to see him in the cast and in the movie. He just, gives some jokes, and it's actually kind of sidelines, I think, in Act 2 and in Act 3, which was kind of sad. But Wyatt Russell, great to see. Obviously the not a Winter Soldier, US agent, right? Yeah, US agent from Marvel and like a Steven Spielberg movie. Were very interesting. Spielberg conceived the story after reading a 2017 New York Times article on UFOs. Between summer 2023 and April 2024, he wrote a detailed story outline. David Kopp developed the screenplay over 42 drafts. That's interesting. Lead roles cast without additions. Ensemble includes previous Spielberg collaborators. February to May 2025 in New York and New Jersey. Locations included railroads, industrial sites, news studios, and constructed sites for Wardex headquarters and safe houses. Cinematographer is Janusz Kaminski, primarily uses a 35mm film with Panavision anamorphic lenses. It's obviously like that's how the movie gives it like a flair or like a vibe. Obviously, if you see a Steven Spielberg movie, those movies are always kind of with a flair or like anamorphic lenses. They're filmed with anamorphic lenses because the light, just scatters right into the screen like so beautifully. So I gotta admit, Steven Spielberg knows how to make a great film. So there you go. Alright, so very interesting. Themes and philosophy. Obviously, if you didn't understand the story, disclosure and empathy, right? Central narrative revolves around revealing extraterrestrial existence, disclosure, and cultivating understanding across species, languages, and emotions. It's kind of like a movie that, if it were to happen tomorrow, it would play out exactly how this movie was played out, which is really interesting. Obviously, communication and connection, telepathy, and latent human abilities serve as metaphors for empathy, trust, and global cooperation. There we go. Ethics of security and whistleblowing explores the moral consequences of governmental obfuscation, surveillance, and the tension between national security and truth. Right, humanity versus spectacle. While visually elaborate with chase sequences and technology, the film emphasizes character development, emotional resonance, and philosophical inquiry about our place in the universe. Plot and real-life inspirations. Right, set against the brink of World War III, the story follows Daniel Kellner, a whistleblower stealing classified extraterrestrial files, kind of like the X-Files, I suppose. I mean, yeah, you could actually compare it to the X-Files or like E.T. or Close Encounters or like Signs. I think all three or four of those things combined, you have Disclosure Day, which is kind of interesting. So there we go. Daniel Kellner and obviously Margaret Fairchild, played by Emily Blunt, have like a connection to aliens, right? Obviously, they gain physic and linguistic abilities, both of them. One is very good in languages, the other in math, and some people say math is the language of the universe. That I'm not a big fan of math, so I don't really see how or why, but screw math, I guess. Wasn't really good at it. I will never be good at it, so there you go. So real life inspirations draws loosely from UFO phenomena reported since Roswell, Pentagon UFO investigations, and whistleblower accounts as well. There are a lot of leaks and theories and rumors about UFOs and extraterrestrial life visiting Earth. There was like this AI image, I think it's AI, right? From Donald Trump meeting like white-haired persons. People assume that these are aliens. I thought those were like AI generated Targaryens from House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones. I was like, hey, that's funny, but it's clearly AI, and people, well, they make a lot of things with AI which are kind of bad for our, like, I suppose, the online space, right? So there are key theories and concepts about, like, obviously UFOs, and Earth is kind of small in the vast scheme of the universe. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Disclosure Day is a very interesting movie. Just letting that out there, it's just something to think about, right? So there we go. Anyhow, so it incorporates elements of xenolinguistics, telepathic communication, and physic phenomena framed in a near-future contemporary setting. Physic bonding, utilized to explore human cognition, ethical influence, and interpersonal manipulation as well. And reverse-engineered technology addresses potential technological estrangement from extraterrestrial contact. Also, people assume that the pyramids of Giza or the Stonehenge were built by aliens, but I mean, in my case, I already know that the pyramids of Giza were built by Apocalypse, so X-Men reference right there. But no, it's kind of interesting that there are so many theories and rumors about aliens, I suppose, on the world that, yeah, I guess if you were to have like an alien interaction or whatever, yeah, people will not believe you, obviously, but obviously some of these stories, like I said, movies, shows, series, I suppose video games or other things from media, they explore this quite a bit. Like Star Wars is full of aliens, right? So it's kind of interesting to see the approach on how we will interact with aliens. Obviously there are science fiction worlds out there like Star Wars, like I said, or Star Trek, that obviously humans and aliens coexist, right? So I guess I don't think really contact or first contact will be so wow, because I mean, maybe not. I don't know, man. I'm just predicting something here, but whatever. Anyhow, let's talk about the reception and context. Premiered at Le Grand Prix Paris in Paris, so obviously on the 2nd of June 2026. In the US, obviously it released on the 12th of June 2026. Box office earnings 120.5 million worldwide. Generally positive reviews, praise for performances, and philosophical subtext despite critics on pacing and spectacle. Cinematic experience encourages reflection on the possibility of life beyond Earth, human ethical responsibility, and the importance of empathy over the technological or political dominance, right? So, Disclosure Day is a very interesting science fiction thriller blending Spielberg's cinematic mastery with speculative UFOlogy. So there we go. Humanist philosophy and ethical inquiry. Its ensemble cast and technical vision support a narrative that interrogates secrecy, communication, and moral courage while visualizing a revelation of extraterrestrial life. The film marries high concept ideas with grounded emotional storytelling, inviting audiences to question reality, empathy, and humanity's responsibility to truth. So there you go. I was very excited to see Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg is the absolute legend he is, and I'm really excited to see where he will go in the future. I think he was planning to make like a Western movie, and I'm really down to see that. So there you go. Obviously, because Steven Spielberg is, I would say, one of my favorite directors. He's pretty much my favorite one, because Spielberg has made so many great movies throughout the years, and people just know that Steven has a sort of like, I don't know, like, it's quality, right? Together with like Martin Scorsese and Christopher Nolan, people assume that the movies will be good, right? Because they have quality in them, right? And Steven Spielberg always knows how to make a great movie, and I'm just in love with the guy. I would say, no, I'm just so totally in awe with him, because he's such a legend, man. I mean, he's such an icon, and he's one of my inspirations. Like, Steven Spielberg can make a movie about anything, and I will watch it, right? And I'm a really big fan of what he did and what he will do, and hopefully he'll make more movies coming up. I mean, I assume he's gotten a little older, so I mean, I just can't wait to see like what he cooks next, right? I think his previous movie was The Fabelmans, which was from 2023, so he worked 3 years on Disclosure Day, as I presume, right? I assume. So maybe his Western movie will release, I think, in 3 years or 4 years or whatever, or maybe hopefully sooner, right? Because Spielberg, I mean, in his prime, he obviously released 3 movies a year or something like that. I think there was, 1992 or 1995, whatever, the year that Jurassic Park released, there was also Schindler's List, and both were fantastic, right? So, I mean, hats off to the guy. I absolutely adore him, and I really love his work. So there we go. And I can't wait to see where he'll go, obviously, in the future as well. And hopefully he'll stay with us for quite some time. So there we go. I still remember that the first image of Disclosure Day released on the internet with obviously this border, I think this board or whatever, it's like a digital poster, I suppose. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that. I was like really hyped. People were speculating about what the plot would be, obviously about the Steven Spielberg movie, which was like, you know, UFO centric and obviously alien centric. So yeah, I'm really happy that I actually got to see this in theaters for, you know, I assume it was like 2 hours and something. Yeah, something like that. And I really enjoyed those 2 hours. I think people will have some complaints. I do get it, because the ending lets people think about the story, right, and about the disclosure. So yes, I do get why people wouldn't really like it, but I also do get people that actually really adore this movie, because it keeps the mysterious elements in tone, right? It keeps the, I suppose, moral conflict of the story intact, and doesn't really give itself away at the ending. It's not like, oh, a big alien invasion or whatever, oh, 10,000 aliens appear in the movie. No, it's kind of like Disclosure Day is something with humanity, right? So the humans interact with one another, and they try to see how they will actually work this out, right? The ending is very interesting. It's obviously a spoiler review, so I'm going to tell you what happened, right? There's this ending where obviously all the main characters appear on the news channel, and I suppose Emily Blunt needs to contact all the people from around the world about aliens, and I think obviously Josh O'Connor's character reveals the new footage, right? The old footage and the new footage about UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. And obviously suddenly they roll in this I would say tall alien, right? It's kind of like this grey alien, right? I suppose the most well-known kind of alien. And yeah, the alien just talks to Emily Blunt's character, and then she says, listen, and the movie stops. That's it. It's kind of interesting. It's a kind of interesting approach, right? And how to end the story off. But, you know, there could be, like, it's like a cliffhanger, or like I would say, an open ending, right? You get to speculate what happens next, and I think that's kind of interesting. So yeah, man, Steven Spielberg, and especially Steven Spielberg science fiction movies, I really love them. E.T. is one of my favorite movies, and yeah, I just can't wait, like I said, for his newest movies coming up. So alright, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will check you later. Goodbye.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy, and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know all of this is true?